right, so at this point, you should have your bill of materials complete, and you should have your lumber order complete. The next thing you're going to be doing is you're going to be working on a flow chart. Now, there are some very detailed flow charts out there that actually have symbols and some directional labels and whatnot. Over the years, I've pared down the flow chart application to hopefully simplify it for students. So what you're going to do for each part that you're making, so you can see in this example, this is the development of the top shelf. You are going to have a table, and in that table, you're going to have two columns, and those two columns are going to be a tool column and an operation column. So the first thing that the student is going to do is they are going to use the miter saw, and they are going to cut a 1 by 8 to 30 inches. Now, if we are being extremely picky, we're actually going to insert a row above this, and it's going to be miter saw. Does anybody have a guess of what the operation is going to be? Nope, that's what they're doing in the next one. Yeah, so this would be square a 1 by 8. So the first thing that we're always going to do, we want to make sure we're working with square material. We cut our material to length. The student then is going to go to the router table, and they are going to route the top shelf end grain. And correct me if I'm wrong, we're actually doing both end grains and one edge, correct? So in the flow chart, you are detailing out what you are going to do to each piece of material, each part. So then they are going to pre-drill the top, they're going to sand it, and they're going to go ahead and put that first coat of stain. When they go into their backboard, and again, I would recommend that you add squaring your material here. Cut on the miter saw, a 1 by 8 to 26 inches. So very important that you're specifying the dimensional lumber that you're going to use, and then the size that you're going to be cutting to. Those are two very important pieces. So you are breaking down on the flow chart each individual operation that you are going to be doing to make your shelf. And that's for each individual part. And then at the end, you will want to include assembly. So the student is specifying that they are going to screw the brackets into the backboard, and then they are going to screw the bracket into the backboard. We have that on each side. And then screw the top shelf into that assembly. So you're breaking down each part, and then the assembly of how you're going to assemble your project. So those of you working in the classroom, you know, some of your parts we may need to talk about, and like, hey, how will I do this? How should I word this? We may need to have some conversations. Edge students, if you have parts that you're not sure about, or assembly processes that you're not sure about, please reach out. You're welcome to send me an email, or you can send me a video snippet, whatever's easiest, so we can communicate on that. Those of you in class, questions on that information? All right, good to go.